watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted Best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
Hi, today is Monday, December 4th, 2023. I'm Missy Kohler. Welcome to News 25. There was a structure fire in Las Vegas earlier this morning. Anthony Roberts has the details.
At approximately 8:40 this morning, the Combined Communication Center in Las Vegas received a report from a passerby of smoke and flames coming from a window of an apartment at 4255 West of Viking Road. Upon arrival, crews found smoke coming from the eaves and the first floor fully involved with extension to the attic. The arriving battalion chief called a second alarm to provide additional personnel and resources for the fire. Operations personnel were removed from the roof to ensure safety of the crew, and a defensive fire strategy was employed. Fire crews achieved knockdown. At approximately 9:26 a.m., 3 battalion chiefs responded to the incident with almost 70 personnel. Fire investigators were also called to the scene. According to report, the building was a total loss. 18 adults, 3 children, and 10 pets have been displaced as a result of the fire. Luckily, there were no injuries that have been reported. The fire is under investigation, with 1 person being detained for questioning at this time.
The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department foiled a terroristic threat in Las Vegas. Here's more on this story.
On our Friday newscast, News 25 reported on a breaking news story of a 16-year-old juvenile who has made terroristic threats on social media to all of Las Vegas in connection to the terrorist organization ISIS. Deputy Chief Dory Corin of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, who oversees the Homeland Security and Special Operations Division, held a press briefing on Friday afternoon.
With me today is Assistant Special Agent in Charge Brian Percival with the FBI Las Vegas Field Office and Executive Director Carrie Underwood with the Southern Nevada Counterterrorism Center. We're here today to discuss the results of a terrorism investigation that began earlier this week. On Tuesday, November 28th, we uncovered a terrorism threat on a social media messaging platform. The threat involved a suspect that claimed he was commencing lone wolf terrorist attacks here in Las Vegas in furtherance of support for the Islamic State terrorist organization, also known as ISIS. As you can see from the message to my left, your right, this is part of the posting that was made. And you can see here he announces that he will start lone wolf operations in Las Vegas against the enemies of Allah. He asks for support. He says that he's a supporter of the Islamic State. And he says that he'll make sure the Zionists in this city know it. Also included, if you can see in the right, the top right of that post was an ISIS flag and also some words in Arabic. Upon discovering this threat, we immediately initiated a multi-agency investigation. We also enhanced our security posture across the valley as a precaution, and we began to work very quickly to identify the suspect involved in this threat. Thanks to the hard work and collaborative effort by the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, the LVMPD Counterterrorism Section, and all of the partners of the Southern Nevada Counterterrorism Center, we were able to identify the suspect and his location within hours of uncovering this threat. The suspect is a 16-year-old juvenile who is local to the area and a recent convert to Islam. Our continued investigation that night revealed additional concerns regarding the validity of the threat, and at that point we immediately initiated a search warrant. The LVMPD SWAT team served that search warrant, and we were able to take the suspect into custody without incident. Our search revealed numerous items of concern, to include terrorism propaganda and materials that indicated the suspect's intent to commit an act of terrorism. Some examples that were recovered included a handmade ISIS flag, which you can see a photo of, ISIS and Al-Qaeda propaganda, radicalization materials, and general guidance for conducting a terrorist attack, a handmade ISIS headband and patches, self-portraits of the suspect wearing these items and surrounded by ISIS propaganda, self-produced terrorism propaganda material in support of terrorism and anti-Semitic threats, as well as components for building an improvised explosive device and bomb-making recipes and instructions. As a result of this search and our overall investigation, we charged the suspect with multiple felonies to include terroristic threats, attempt to further an act of terrorism, providing material support to a terrorist or terrorist organization, and 5 counts of possession of explosive components. The suspect remains in custody, and we're working closely with the Clark County District Attorney's Office to prepare for prosecution. It's important to note, we believe this is an isolated threat that we were able to quickly mitigate. There is no indication at this time that there is any additional threats or further threats to our community. The fact is we have one of the best counterterrorism operations in the world that's here in Las Vegas. The exceptional level of collaboration between the FBI, LVMPD, the Department of Homeland Security, and all of our Fusion Center partners is unprecedented, and it's consistently proven invaluable, as evidenced in this case. It's because of this teamwork and our relentless approach to combating both crime and terrorism that we were collectively able to foil an ISIS-inspired terrorism threat so quickly.
News 25 will keep you updated on this story as more information is revealed.
There was a 2-vehicle crash on Highway 160 today. We go to Anthony Roberts for more on the story.
Jason Ernest of Mount West Lawyers. Don't be bullied by insurance companies. Call me, 775-727-9500.
On December 1st, approximately 3 p.m., a 2-vehicle crash occurred on Highway 160 near the Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino. The driver of a silver Kia Sorento was heading southbound on Highway 160 when he was struck by a white Kia Soul. According to the male driver of the silver Sorento, the Kia Soul then drove away, fleeing the scene of the accident. He then also left the scene to chase after the Kia Soul, following it down South Frontage Road to China Walk, then back up Frontage Road, through the McDonald's parking lot, across Highway 372, and finally into the Walgreens parking lot. According to officers, the driver of the Kia Soul was a juvenile and did not disclose if the juvenile would be charged with any crime at the time. Highway Patrol, as well as the Nye County Sheriff's Office, were at the scene. There was no injuries reported.
A single car exploded Friday evening. News 25 reporter David Preston has this story.
A single-vehicle sedan explosion happened Friday night at approximately 5:25 p.m. on Highway 372 near 160. News 25 captured an interview with an eyewitness who called 911 to tell us what he saw as the car exploded.
I was about car length and a half behind him in the next lane over to the left. It's just a big orange fireball and a huge explosion, just a deafening explosion, and just stuff started flying all over the place. I thought his hood had flown into the air at first, but I later figured out it was probably his sunroof blew up into the air about 20 or 30 feet. Yeah, I mean, just the destruction of the car. I mean, the doors are all blown out. There wasn't a piece of glass left in the thing when I got there. All the airbags had gone off. And
Nye County Sheriff's Office, along with Nevada Highway Patrol and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, arrived on the scene. News 25 met up with Fire Chief Scott Lewis to give us the details.
Just after the dinner hour, Pahrump Fire Rescue is dispatched for a report of a vehicle explosion. As they arrived on location after receiving numerous reports, they found a vehicle that actually had an explosion occur from a propane leak of a cylinder placed in the rear trunk of the car. There was one victim who was transported to the local air base and flown to trauma. Crews are under investigation right now. We found a debris field that extends approximately 100 feet from the vehicle in all directions. There were no additional injuries on scene. The incident remains under investigation. We believe to be accidental in nature.
We asked Chief Scott Lewis if the propane tank had exploded.
So there was actually not a propane tank that exploded. It was a leaking cylinder placed within the rear of the car. As propane is heavier than air, it settled it within the car. There was then an introduction of an accidental ignition source which caused the explosion and the brief fire event. The fire didn't have enough fuel to sustain. Therefore, the patient was burned, but the car did not continue to burn itself. The patient was subsequently transported from the scene to Mercy area and subsequently flown to trauma.
News 25 has learned that the driver of the sedan may have been smoking. We asked the chief if that was the case.
That is a possibility. We are investigating that, and we'll determine that further as the investigation continues.
We also asked if the cigarette could have been the cause of igniting the explosion.
It absolutely is a consideration for a potential cause, and it would be an ignition source that would fit this particular incident.
And we'll be right back with more News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. A two-vehicle crash happened this afternoon on Highway 160, and Anthony Roberts files this report.
Jason Ernest of Mount West Lawyers. Don't be bullied by insurance companies. Call me, 775-727-9500.
A two-vehicle crash occurred on Highway 160 at Calvetta I at approximately 3 p.m. earlier this afternoon. According to eyewitnesses, a silver Toyota Corolla was traveling northbound at high speeds on Highway 160 and failed to slow down to make the left-hand turn onto the Calvetta I, slamming into a silver Dodge Caravan, which was also waiting to make that left-hand turn. Luckily, there was no injuries. Nye County Sheriff's Office as well as Highway Patrol was at the scene.
A Pahrump man is arrested following a DUI, robbery, and other charges. Here's RJ Camacho with the story.
On November 26, officers responded in reference to a domestic in progress. Upon arrival, officers reported hearing active yelling and banging from the street. They then contacted an individual identified as Francisco Salazar, detained due to the call notes stating that a male had pushed a female outside the residence. Officers then spoke to Francisco, who stated that he was in an argument with the alleged victim, and that he allegedly crashed his Dodge Challenger into the neighbor's yard. According to officers, the damage on the vehicle was consistent with the damage to the neighbor's front yard. According to the arrest report, Francisco smelled of alcohol and admitted to drinking 2 tall boys. He allegedly had drank the 2 tall boys before operating the vehicle from Home Depot. Officers then observed marks on the woman's neck, and when asked how she got him, she alleged that Francisco had held her by the neck against a wall. Officers then inquired Francisco about his alleged possession of the woman's phone, to which he allegedly stated that he took it from her in order to keep her from calling his parents for help. After Francisco failed a sobriety test, officers then attempted to place him into the patrol vehicle. However, Francisco allegedly resisted officers after being told multiple times to step into the vehicle, resulting in officers having to place him into the vehicle by force. While at the jail, officers conducted a search incident to arrest. However, Francisco allegedly became agitated and began pulling away from officers. According to the arrest report, Francisco was told to stop. However, he began to bang his head against the patrol vehicle and resisted detention deputies. After placing Francisco into a Code 5 chair, he was then booked into the Nye County Detention Center under the charges of driving under the influence, domestic battery, resisting a public officer, robbery, and failure to stop at an accident with the attendant's vehicle.
Time now for a look at sports. Here's Mikey.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports. Golden Knights welcomed their 2016 Stanley Cup rivals, the Washington Capitals, on Saturday, and they were victorious 4-1. They welcomed the St. Louis Blues this evening. Raiders with a bye week last week. They host the Minnesota Vikings this Sunday. UNLV struggled in the Mountain West Football Championship game on Saturday. Boise State Broncos beat them 44-20 at Allegiant Stadium. Allegiant Stadium is hosting the Las Vegas Bowl. That matchup will feature Northwestern versus Utah on December 23rd. Pahrump Valley Trojan boys basketball are at Amplus Academy in Vegas. JV game is in progress, and varsity at 6:30. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
When we come back, we'll be talking with Pat Lemming from Never Forgotten Animal Society. Stay with us.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Brightline West shared a video on social media of a new signage and fencing bearing the Brightline West name and train design.
Brightline West, the developer of the high-speed rail connecting Las Vegas with Southern California, shared video on social media Monday of new signage and fencing bearing the Brightline West name and train design. The video appears to have been taken on Las Vegas Boulevard near Robindale Road, where the Brightline Las Vegas station would be located. Brightline has been developing plans for a 218-mile line that would run from Las Vegas to Apple Valley, Hesperia, and Rancho Cucamonga through the Interstate 15 corridor. The station at Rancho Cucamonga would connect with the Metrolink San Bernardino line that already runs to Los Angeles. Construction has been pending as Brightline still awaits the result of a grant application, $3.75 billion in federal funding. Developers say they hope to have the project completed in time for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles.
Pat Living from Never Forgotten Animal Society is here to tell us about a cute kitten looking for a forever home. Her name is Shatri.
Today's Rescue a Pet segment is brought to you by Realty Executives in Action. Put the team at Realty Executives in action for you.
This is Pat with Never Forgotten Animal Society at 3091 North David Street in the north part of Pahrump off of Bella Vista. And with me is Chatri. Chatri is a 10-week-old Siamese kitten. He is available for a foster to adopt, meaning that you get to take him into your home and integrate him into your home until he turns 3 pounds, at which point then we get him fixed and then you get to adopt him fully at that time. He has been microchipped. He's got his vaccinations, everything except rabies, which we give out at the time that he's neutered. So if you're interested in Chatri, his adoption fee is $125 for any of our kittens or cats, and it includes their spay, neuter, microchip, all of their vaccinations and rabies certificates. If they are not fixed, then you do get to take them home on a foster program. You do not own them during the foster program until they do get fixed, at which point then it switches to an adoption and then full ownership occurs at that time. He is available here at Never Forgotten Animal Society at 3091 North David. We are open Monday through Saturday from 10 until 5 every day. No appointment is necessary to come in and see our kids, so you're welcome to come in anytime. We are available during the holidays as well. The only day that we will be closed will be Christmas, but other than that, you're welcome to come in anytime. Our number is 775-537-8674, and this is Chatri, and he is available here at Never Forgotten Animal Society. Thank you.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's go outside, shall we? Little Lerner and Rowe weather cam showing us a pretty nice day today. Temperature's still a little on the cool side. John's coming up next to tell us more.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, all up and down the Ace Country Radio Network and to your mobile device or computer on the World Wide Web, kpvm.tv. Check it out. Lots of fun. 57 degrees in Fernley, Fallon, and Carson City. Weather triplets. This never happens, and they are so cute together. But look at Tonopah at 53. There's your Cool Spot Award winner. Congratulations. Goldfield, a solid number 2 at 54. Beatty, 67 degrees. Outstanding in the field. Way to go. Amargosa got all the way up to 70 degrees. Made Us Believers is the Hot Spot Award winner. And Las Vegas close behind at 66. Out in Death Valley at 75. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, well, let's take a look at our current temperature, 58 degrees. Not too shabby. It was 65 just a little bit earlier. I like that part of the day. Sun rose this morning at 6:38. Set this evening, 4:28. And just earlier and earlier as we crash towards winter solstice. A low tonight at 42 degrees under clear skies. Beautiful star watching, and it's happening right now. Check it out. Humidity at 46%. Now, you think there'd be some cloud cover in the sky. But no, look at this. Clear skies for the next couple of days. Clouds coming in on Wednesday. I'm going to say on the eve of Wednesday and sticking with us for 4 or 5 days. Winds kicking up about 11 miles per hour, blowing that weather system in. Temperatures down from 71 degrees on Wednesday, which we liked a lot, down to like mid-50s and lower 60s for the rest of the week. But the wind is dying out, and there's no real talk of rain, so a cloudy fall day is not going to hurt anybody, don't you think? All right, back to the desk. Here's Missy Kohler.
Thanks, John. Well, that about does it for us here tonight. We thank you so much for watching News 25. I'm Missy Kohler. Have a great night.